Say we're going. All right, thank you. Fuck. All right, everybody, welcome to Metal Truthers. I'm here tonight with Brandon. We are now live with our episode. We're going to discuss Vegas, the markets, and other things. We're also going to discuss, Google and YouTube's fuckery, like what we just dealt with for the past like 30 minutes.
Yeah, no
This was
shit.
supposed to have gone live like fucking 30 minutes ago, so we just now got Google to Hangouts to fucking work. So yeah, welcome to the show. Yeah, dude, that was a fucking trip, dude, because I was like, I kept looking at my phone and waiting for it, so then I finally opened up Hangouts and it was like, ongoing call, you're already in one, and I got to fucking go in and do all that bullshit. I was like, what the fuck, dude, how am I already in a call that I never got a fucking, like...
Yeah, dude, it's starting to piss me off a little bit.
Well, what it is, and this was leaked by somebody on 4chan the other day, that Google and YouTube are working together, and they're supposedly, like, either this week or next week, something like that. I think it starts this week. They're throwing in an algorithm that basically, like, this algorithm's going to take keywords like, 9/11, Las Vegas, things like that, and it's going to just straight rip your fucking channel down, like your entire channel. It's not just going to flag videos anymore. Like, they're going to flag entire channels and shut channels down.
Holy
We're
shit, I
seeing,
finally got that plug-in to install on my computer.
yeah, it must have just finally installed on mine. That's probably what happened with mine. That's why it's working again now. Um, So to kick things off, we're gonna like basically analysis as far as it stands right now on Las Vegas, and what happened there. And after that, we're gonna talk about the markets, what's going on with that a little bit,
Right.
and from there we'll just go into our general topics. But to kick it off with Vegas, I was just talking to you about this, Brandon. Who's first in Metal Truthers? Actually, I'm going to say my piece on this, Brandon, and then I'm going to mute myself and allow you to talk. Sounds amazing, doesn't
Um,
it?
are you feeling
Yeah.
okay?
So, no, no, whatever. I mean, I'm awake. I'm alive. So check it out. Somebody else had mentioned this, and I've been thinking along the same lines for a while now, but I just like I didn't really want to say anything until other people would come out and
Right.
you know, kind of said around the same thing because I don't want to be the guy that like puts out a bogus conspiracy and then like everybody's coming to Metal Truthers saying we come at them with like fake bullshit. But like, all right, here's the deal: the facts that I've pieced together at this point, or what I see as the facts. There were multiple shooters on the ground. There was a possible shooter on the fourth floor. We really don't know about that yet or not. Now, there were also two people that ran around about 45 minutes before the concert ever started and were telling people, hey, y'all need to get the fuck out of here. Y'all are all going to die. Blah, 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 blah. And then now we get to the room and all the footage we've seen from that room and all this shit. With that amount of guns, the way they were laid out, with the way they were positioned, the way everything looks, it doesn't make sense for there to have only been one shooter in that room. See, what I think happened is there were supposed to be multiple people in that. What the fuck?
Oh God.
Hi,
Hold
Brandon.
on.
Jesus Christ. We've got two of you. Brandon has been duplicated by the CIA.
Okay, I'm
Everybody.
here.
Got rid of his clone. His clone wasn't good enough.
No, I finally got Hangouts working on my computer.
Oh, cool, cool. So yeah, so like basically what it boils down to is my overall opinion is there were supposed to be more people in that room, and as far as like I think it could have very well been an ISIS hit. They're showing a lot of evidence that they really did try and recruit this guy, or possibly did recruit him. Nonetheless, I think there were more supposed to be more shooters in there. Some of the so-called homegrown terrorists, the Americans that were supposedly recruited in, it looks like they bitched out, is what happened. And that's why all of a sudden you get these people that are talking about, y'all have got to leave or you're all going to die. I think those two people were supposed to be in that room with him. And then we also talked about how some of the same names, some of the same people with the same agendas have popped up in this that were in the Orlando shooting. These big money guys, their fucking names are all over everything. The guy that, I mean, look into the guy that owns the MGM. I mean, like, Brandon, if you could, why don't you screen share, just slide your mouse over to the left on your screen on Google Hangouts, and that you should have this little black bar pop up that has the, and screen sharing, why don't you try and pull up an article on the guy that owns the MGM and what we can tie him into while I'm talking. But anyway, I'm about to mute up and let you give your thoughts on this, Brandon. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we're supposed to be more people. They were actually supposed to be some homegrown ISIS members, some recruits from America. It looks like they probably bitched out is what happened, or something went wrong. And in the end, this guy was a patsy, that's for sure. He was a fall guy. He definitely wasn't acting alone, and that's just where I sit on it. It's definitely a false flag, but not a false flag in the idea that, like, nobody died. It's all crisis actors. Like,
Right.
that I don't believe. But, yeah, so I'm going to mute up and let you give your thoughts about it real quick here, Brandon. Let me know when you're done, and I'll unmute again.
All right. Basically, I actually just came across this as I was looking for an article to pull up, but I don't know if y'all can see that, but it says Mandalay Bay security guard was shot 6 minutes before the Las Vegas gunman began shooting, according to police. Okay, let me stop this video because basically nobody gives a shit. But let's see, a Mandalay Bay hotel security guard who ran into Las Vegas gunman Stephen Paddock ahead of last Sunday's massacre is being hailed a hero after he took the shooter's first bullet, potentially saving lives ahead of the deadliest Wait, what? How did the fuck this? That don't even make sense. Hey Mitch, come back for a minute.
Okay, so I had heard about this, Brandon, to an extent. I had heard that I thought it was just like a regular bellhop, if was what I was understanding. Apparently this guy, while the shooting was taking place, that's how he was able to pinpoint that the guy was up there. Like, apparently he was going to check on another room down the way. He heard the shots or whatever close to the room or something, and the dude shot through the door and fucking took him down real quick. But that let the police know exactly what room he was in, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Okay, I got you. But no, I'm definitely just gonna say that this was an absolute false flag.
Well, look up the owner of the MGM real quick, dude. Just look up that. You'll see his name, and I promise you're going to recognize that name from Orlando, and probably, if I remember correctly, you'll recognize that name from 9/11 as well.
MGM
Yeah.
Las Vegas.
Yeah. Yep. Because apparently there was a shooter there as well, if I remember correctly.
I've heard that, but I don't know how true it is because if you pay attention to the videos that's out.
Well, there were people that were being interviewed that have talked about it, as well as soldiers who were there apparently that were, like, they weren't placed there, but they were just there, for the concert or whatever. And they even stated that they know for a fact that there was fire coming from an elevated angle somewhere else as well, which means there was another hotel being fired from that had an overlook, and the MGM overlooks right where that was too. I mean, that's crisscross fire. It looks like what these shooters were trying to do was corral everybody into the middle of that arena or the middle of that area and overlap fire on them.
MGM Resorts International. Okay, so MGM Resorts International also owns the Mandalay Bay.
Do what now?
The MGM Resorts International also owns the Mandalay Bay.
Yeah, now look at the name of the guy that owns all that.
I am trying to find it.
I forgot what it was. Somebody said it earlier. I was watching a video on it earlier and they mentioned him, and that's when everything just kind of fell like right into place for me, and I figured out, okay, this makes more sense than anything else at this point, that it was definitely a false flag by the same people that did 9/11, the same people that did Orlando.
Okay, the company's top executives includes James Murren, Chairman and CEO Bill Hornbuckle, President and Chief Marketing Officer Corey Sanders, and COO John McManus, and Executive Vice President and General Counsel.
John McManus is one of those names, and I'm trying to look at these other ones.
I've heard of Bill Hornbuckle too, but I can't think of where. And Corey Sanders. I've heard all these names, but I can't think of where.
Yeah, no, there's a certain name. Fuck, I'll have to think about it later. We'll come back to that. We'll do an episode strictly on that tomorrow on the names involved in this. After that video up, and I'll like send you a list of the people that were, financially involved in this, the people that gained. Another interesting thing about this is 2 days before this happened, or it may have even been the day before this happened, people were selling off their stocks for these casinos like fucking insane, dude. Insane. Same thing like with what we saw in 9/11, how people were like just selling certain stocks of airlines like that. Like, yeah, same shit was happening here. And that's why I say you can draw the false flag idea too, is see who profits from these things.
Exactly. But if you notice what I pulled up a while ago, gun stocks rose after the shooting and MGM stocks fell. Like they plummeted.
Well, the MGM stocks were intentionally plummeted. That's what I'm saying. They intentionally sold them. That was an intentional sellout, just like with what happened in 9/11. See, this is all part of the market collapse, too. Think about it. They just committed one of the largest shootings in American history and one of the most desirable tourist locations in the world. I mean, dude, Las Vegas brings in more people from around the world every year than anywhere else in the world.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Tripled the Las Vegas economy with this attack. I mean, people are going to be on edge. There's going to be 10 times more security now. The people that aren't from this country are going to think twice now about booking a trip to Vegas. I mean, there are so many different angles and so many different ways that they can use. So the thing is the only people that benefit are the people that want the collapse of America, and they are pushing for it. And anyone who can't see that's fucking blind.
Oh, yeah.
Like, blind at this point. It's fucking ridiculous. By the way, did you get a chance to share out this link at all?
No.
Yeah, let's share out the link while we're here.
All right, let me grab my phone. I'll grab it from my phone while we're on here.
Yeah, just that way so we can try and get some viewers in on here.
All right.
I kind of want people in the, like, I'd like to have an actual chat going about this, you know, because, like, I know people are probably tired of hearing about it and things like that, but at the same time, like, for once, this is actually an event that's waking more people up than not. If you catch my drift, like, in all reality, dude, the amount of people that are waking up to this one event is pretty fucking insane, in my opinion,
Oh
actually.
yeah.
Like, we've never seen them fuck up so royally that, like, even the people that still try to hold on to that mainstream faith right now in the media, they can't do it. They're seeing through it. They're fucking questioning everything they're being told right now. They're asking questions. And see, that's how you know this is a false flag, in my opinion, is that there's too many fucking questions that shouldn't exist that do. Like, what made this guy snap? That shouldn't be a question. We should know that. Did he work for ISIS or Antifa? That shouldn't be a question. We should know that. Did he work alone? That shouldn't be a question. We should know that.
Right. I think that, honestly, I think the guy was just a plant.
Well, that's obvious, man. That's obvious. I mean, to an extent, but I think he was actually, like, involved in this, though. He had his role to play. He definitely did. He provided money to somebody somewhere in a state that is heavily ISIS prone, or, well, a country that, is an ISIS stronghold.
Right.
There's too many what ifs. There's too many, could this guy have been doing this? Could this guy have been doing that? Like I said, there's so many questions that we shouldn't even be having to ask right now. Or that, like, it's not even that we shouldn't have to ask these questions, it's just that they should already have, the answers should be there. There should be no reason for us to have the question in the first place. You catch my drift?
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason I say I think the dude was a plant, the dude was a multi-millionaire. He lived in a
Well,
fucking
that doesn't
nursing
mean you
home.
won't go crazy and kill some people, though. I mean, he doesn't fit the narrative of a shooter. That is true. He doesn't fit the overall narrative from what we've always seen when it comes to these, like, shooters. But
I mean,
there's a but there. Um, who's to say that every shooter's going to be the same just because we've seen a pattern with other shooters?
well, of course. I mean, they had to do something to offset the pattern. I understand that.
Well, I'm not saying, what if, like, this guy off. You you feel me? Like, let's just say there was a little bit something fucking going wrong in his brain, right?
Right.
And he snapped. So he snapped, right? And when he snapped, he decides to commit this killing spree. But damn it, I lost my fucking point. I was gonna say something kind of intelligent there, and it's totally gone now. My bad. But yeah, I don't think that this guy was necessarily just a patsy. I think he may have been. I think he was intentionally there to, like, as a shooter. I do believe that. Just because, like I said, there's some weird shit about this, and not only that, but, like, the dude's brother, his brother's interviews that we're seeing. Is it just me, or does his brother seem like a few fries short of a Happy Meal?
Yeah, he does. And on top of that, now his brother's being investigated for drug trafficking.
Heh, heh. That was quick.
Now, no, right?
But no, just watch the interviews with his brother. His brother's a little weird fuck, man, and he, like, seems to have no empathy, like, no remorse. Like, he's kind of talking about this like it's just like some random, like, walk in the park kind of shit that happened, like, fucking, oh yeah, this kind of shit happens all the time. It's just the way things are. Fucking America. That's not America, dude. And like, his big excuse for why he doesn't believe his brother did it is, well, my brother's the reason I'm wealthy. My brother made me wealthy. My brother's cock felt so good. Now, I don't know what the fuck this guy's on, but maybe that's some Arkansas loving going down. But yeah, I don't know. It almost seems like they weren't even related, if you catch my drift. Like, it almost
Right.
seems like, you know, he's just some fucking actor that's there. Like, he has no connection to this guy. Uh, my mom can't believe it either. We never saw it coming. I don't think anybody saw it coming, dude. I think that he did it the way he did it was so that nobody would see it coming.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I could be wrong on that, but you know, I don't know. I'm just assuming that he would probably have not wanted anyone to see him coming, and that's exactly why it did. He didn't want anybody to know what he was about to do. You know. But that's even if this guy was as involved as where I'm taking it with a grain of salt that the media isn't giving us just like an entirely like complete bullshit narrative. You know, I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt here. And I know that's pretty dumb, you know, as far as most people are concerned. They're like, what the fuck, dude? Why would you even time? But you know, I'm sorry, it just is. We have to take it with a grain of salt right now. We have to take it as they could be telling the truth. We know they're not. Okay, let's get that straight. We know they're not, but let's just assume that there's a grain of truth in like the narrative they're spitting, you know? And let's just assume that guy is that one, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because like as much as I would love to just call complete bullshit on this whole thing, like I feel like that would be disingenuous of myself to call bullshit on the whole thing when I don't necessarily believe the whole thing is complete bullshit, you know?
I'm not going to say the whole thing is complete bullshit,
Um
but a lot of it stinks.
Oh yeah, I mean it smells like shit, but there's no way we can guarantee that it's shit right now, you know? I mean, we could find out like here in the next month that this whole damn thing is exactly what they said it was, and we were just being fucking crazy nut jobs, but you know, as of right now, I'm taking the stance of like real, you know, like the as far as this happened the way it did, but it happened the way I'm seeing it did, you know, like it's a fucking
Right.
it was set up there and there you just fuck man. I mean, but like with these casinos, once you actually see his name, and we'll go over that tomorrow for sure, I promise. But like, then understand why all of a sudden none of the video footage from the casinos is being shown. Like we can't see any footage of anybody going into that room. It's also shown that like somebody at some point when his car was not there in the parking lot of that, they used his card key and went in his room while he wasn't there. So playing that Batman ass shitty pool. I mean, that motherfucker's doing some like quantum tunneling or something. It was in two places at once.
Right.
Unless he's on some quantum shit, I can't come up with an idea of how he managed that. Like, what do you think?
Um, my whole thing is you've got the 64-year-old multimillionaire that came out of a nursing home who, according to his family, had never even owned a firearm before. That all of a sudden
But
just
he
goes out
works
and
for the
buys.
government, so that's where I also call bullshit because like you look up this guy's name, involved with the multiple government agencies, you're gonna tell me this dude's never owned a gun. You're on some lying ass bullshit. That's what they on. They on some lying shit. That's lying shit. I don't know a single motherfucker right there for y'all, by the way. But yeah, I don't know a single motherfucker that works for the government that doesn't own a gun. Not a single fuck. Not one of them. And there's a lot of fucks. Every one of them owns a gun. Every one of them is trained to use a gun. Even the BLM has guns and they're trained to use guns, and they're not even supposed to have fucking guns. To have like a can of pepper spray, and they're supposed to be like, "Get on back now, you ranchers." You know I'm right, dude.
Oh yeah,
You know I'm right. They're not supposed to have any fucking firearms, but they had them,
yeah.
and they're trained in them proficiently. Um, we've seen video footage of Black Lives Matter and Antifa being trained by
Yeah.
police on how to fire weapons properly. I mean, so yeah, like fucking, like government people ain't got no fucking firearms on some lying ass shit. And I consider Antifa a government organization at this point, dude. To be honest with you,
I kind of do too, just because of all the.
I know that sounds weird to most people because like everybody's like, oh, but Antifa's trying to tear down the government.
No, they're
Well,
not. They're trying to build
yeah,
up left
if
government.
well, if you don't believe in the deep state, sure, they're trying to destroy the government. But if you do believe in the deep state and the deep state's agenda, then you see that very clearly fucking do with them trying to destroy the government. What this has to do with, and in its entirety, deep state. This is their. These are their pawns. This is their action in motion. This is their trump card. To use a pun there. This is their trump card. This is the deep state's trump card. We've known they've had it for a long time. We've been waiting to see when they were going to play it and how they were going to play it. And, now this was the deep state's trump card. Antifa. Think about it. They're trying their hardest to get wars started. They can't get the Patriots to fire the first shot. They've tried to set them up numerous times to get them to start the first shot. They can't get the police force to start their first shots, even though they've tried to turn not only the populace against the police, but the police against the populace. They've tried all of their moves, and none of their moves are working.
Right.
So now they're being forced into a corner. You know?
Um. Something else I wanted to bring up is if Trump is working for the globalist like we say he is, why are they trying so hard to get him out of office?
Because he's not playing the game the way they want him to play it.
I mean,
Think about it. He's not playing the game the way they want him to play it. He's playing his own game. But maybe they don't really want to see that's again. We're thinking on the lines of he's a good guy. Impeach Clinton, he was part of the system. That was just a whole big charade to get him out of office and get Bush in so that they could blame that on the wars on the Republicans and not the Democrats so that Obama wouldn't have such a hard time getting into office when he ran. Make sense? Maybe the ultimate goal isn't to just get Trump out of office. Maybe that's the ploy. Maybe that's the smokescreen for the real agenda. It has nothing to do with fucking Trump. It has to do with the destruction of America. And I mean, what's an easier way right now to destroy the entirety of America, city by city by city, and create your race war, your civil war, and everything in one fell swoop?
right.
Allow Antifa to run rampant. I mean, they've been listed as a terrorist organization. You think if Trump was on our side, they'd still be running around free?
Mm-mm. No.
Again, this is me just putting a lot of pieces of a puzzle together, people. Like, I'm not saying I'm right or I'm wrong or I know anything more than y'all do. Like, literally, I was handed a puzzle and fucked up, and I'm putting all those pieces together myself, and I'm thinking by myself, for myself. I'm not going to let them tell me how to think. I'm not going to let the media tell me what the truth is when my gut tells me it's a lie.
Right.
Like, we're bowing down to this elite system that's just there to fuck us in every shape, form, or fashion possible, and it's time that we fuck them right back, you know?
No, I completely understand what you're saying.
Then it's like, it's more or less, it's the process, the fact that we've been lied to for this long. That's really what sets me off. The fact that, like, it's the lies, man. Like I'm one of those kind of people. Like I even told one of my coworkers the other day, like I don't care if I have to miss a day of work because of this, that, or the other. I was like, but don't fucking lie to me about it, you know? Like that's the one thing I can't stand is when like people try to feed me a whole bunch of bullshit. I don't subscribe to bullshit, you know? I really
Well,
don't. Hey,
no,
we've got a viewer. Hi, viewer.
that's
We
me.
see you. Oh, you son of a bitch. You don't fucking count. Fuck you, viewer. Our viewer's a fat piece of shit.
Only
uh,
slightly.
I'm only slightly obese. God damn it.
I'm only slightly morbid.
That's bad, kitty.
I'm not fat. I'm big boned.
You will respect his authority and his lord. Oh man, we gotta have fun sometimes because this whole situation has been driving me fucking batshit crazy, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, just the fact that people got hurt and all we as Americans can do is find reasons to bicker with each other about it, and oh, it's the NRA's fault, it's the Republicans' fault, it's this person's fault, it's that person's fault. Well, you know what? I think it's probably that dude's wife's fault. Let's pin it on her. She didn't suck his cock enough, and that nut every now and then it does shit to our brain, and we just fucking go crazy. So I'm gonna blame it all on her. It was her fault.
If she'd have gave better head, he'd have been fine.
Yeah, if she hadn't been in Puerto Rico giving them head, and this whole thing wouldn't have happened. That's if we're all just gonna come up with all these fucking stupid ass excuses.
The thing is I mean, you've just got this really old, decrepit dude that just has come out of a nursing home for whatever reason. Um, and then all of a sudden you've got this fucking dude coming out of the nursing home, and all of a sudden he just goes and grabs 23 rifles, and then thousands upon thousands of rounds of ammunition, and brings it into a five-star hotel.
I'd hate to say, but I didn't see enough spent ammunition on the floor to necessarily account for all those gunshots that we heard if it all came from that one shooter. I mean, I saw a lot of brand new, clean, unspent shells that, like, for some reason were all thrown about all loopty-doopty and shit. Like, that didn't make any fucking sense to me. Like, why are they so bright and shiny? Like, shells on the floor that have never been fired at all. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, fucking, wouldn't you have those, in a, have them loaded up, ready to go? Why are there a bunch of loose, unspent rounds on the floor? Because I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but if from the picture I saw, those didn't look like spent rounds to me.
Well, I mean, just the fact that there was a huge lack of rounds, period.
Well, I will say some of them, I mean, fucking, especially if he was using like an AR or an AK, anything like that, those things toss rounds when they expel them. So, I mean,
Oh
we
yeah,
could say they're like 95%. Hey, there's a second viewer. Hi, second viewer.
I
Hi,
do
second
believe
viewer.
I do believe that would be Brittany.
Bitch! None of our viewers fucking matter. No, I'm just playing. Hi, Brittany. Is that you? Oh. But yeah, so I mean, I'm just saying, dude, like that doesn't. I mean, we could take into account that let's say like over 75% of the shells went out the window because we does. I mean, I'm just going to assume that he was leaning out the window.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, he was 64. I'm pretty fucking sure his eyesight wasn't that great. So, and like body he was walking around with, I'm pretty sure he had to like lean out the window, use the seal for support, and just fucking like you know kind of hang there and pull the trigger and just wobble all haphazardly. That's probably why not as many people died. This dude was probably too fucking old to keep control of the weapon. He was just firing at everything.
Well, I'm sure he was. I mean, you got to think.
Man, I felt like the air took a violent beating that day. I mean, the air didn't deserve all those holes put in it. I'll tell you that much. And with all those rounds that were spent and all the, I mean, I'm not saying that the like casualties and stuff aren't bad, but at the same time, like with that amount of rounds and the fact that we can clearly see that there were people on the ground, like there were some people that were clearly pissed off at the air. You know, I think that was more of an insult on our environment. It wasn't even like they weren't trying to kill people. People just happened to be standing there. That was an assault on the air itself. Mother Nature, like, what's up? They were tired of it. It was because of the hurricanes, dude. That's what it is. This was retaliation against Mother Nature for the hurricanes. They gave that air a beating and filled that air full of holes. You know, to make light of a tragic situation.
Yeah. You know, I don't really want to make light of the situation, but you know, there's just too much shit that don't add up.
Well, I'm gonna make light of it because you've got assholes out there like fucking Alex Jones and people like taking this to the next level of fucking stupid. And they're like most of the people that aren't like, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that it isn't a horrible thing what happened at all, but I'm like, it's in some shape, form, or fashion, man, we've got to take the doom and gloom out of this because if we don't, motherfuckers like Alex Jones and then the people on the left that are spewing their rhetoric about it, all of these people get like momentum, man. They get fucking skyrocket, like somebody fucking threw some nitrous in their system. You know what I mean? Like these
Yeah.
motherfuckers get this super speed boost. It's like they go to a fucking from Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan God in a matter of days, all because, you know, people fucking, they can't. The only way you'll see through the big picture is like, and I've said this millions of times, but it's because of my dark sense of humor and like the things that I find entertaining in life that I have the ability to like, I'll look at everything critically and then when I start to make light of it, that's when I realize that I figured it out. Like,
Yeah.
I make light of it and it doesn't piss me off, like to the point where I see red about it. That's when I figured it out. Like, do you know how many years I saw red anytime somebody would mention 9/11 and like I just start looking around for some like random Muslim to kill because I was like, fuck them. It's a programming situation. And y'all may think that the way I broke free from my programming is fucked up or whatever, but yeah, I mean, I'm a twisted individual. I didn't have a great upbringing. You know, you're not talking to somebody that came from like upper white class society with the silver spoon. You're talking to a guy that like has gone through so much shit that the fact that I have any empathy for humans at all is pretty fucking surprising. To be honest, I don't know anybody that was there. So do I give a fuck about the actual people? No. Do I care that people died? Yes. But do I take it on a personal level like this was an attack against me like so many of y'all are doing? No. No, I don't. This wasn't an attack against white people. It wasn't an attack against my friends. It wasn't an attack against anything. Freedom. That's what I'm seeing it as. You know? So when y'all are like, man, this guy takes like a really fucked up approach to these kinds of situations, y'all have to understand, like, that's because y'all are looking at it with like, y'all have got some sort of horse in this race, you know? Like, I don't have a horse in this race. Like, I don't support any of the part of the system, neither the right, the left, in between, far, none of it. I don't support it. I support being an individual and thinking for yourself. When somebody hands you a puzzle, don't just hand it over to somebody that has a suit and a tie and expect them to put it together for you. You catch my drift?
Yeah.
So I make lighthearted of this kind of situation. And plus, like, was carried out, like I have no respect for these shooters. These were the most untrained, uncoordinated, worthless people. Worthless as people in general, but also as like, if you're gonna kill people, if you're gonna show up with guns, know how to fucking use them. And because I'm sorry, but like You take your average take your average cop, let him go rogue. Take your average military man, or even your militias. Take a rogue militia man. Let a bunch of rogue militias do that kind of shit and see how, like, the difference in the body count between a bunch of government hired patsies and untrained psychopaths versus people that can, know what they're doing. I can't respect like a single bit of this narrative or the people that did it or understand anything about it because it doesn't make sense. They were so untrained they only killed 50 out of the 500 people they like total they hit was like not even 600 people, but they spent at least 1,000 rounds if not more. I mean, it seems like they were told to basically get us some casualties, but not a lot. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they were told to somewhat stand down on this because I'm sorry, with the caliber rifles we were hearing going off, the amount of rifles we were hearing going off, the amount of rounds that were expended in that situation, the fact that everybody was all crowded up in their little groups and they were fish in a barrel. How did y'all fuck that one up? That's another thing that doesn't make sense to me. How did they, like, if this was truly, something other than a government planned event, there would have been a lot more casualties, man. I mean, just taking credit for this, unless it is that they just tried to use regular American agents that they didn't radicalize them quite enough, so they didn't do what they were supposed to do, and out. This had to have been government, dude. ISIS, look at London, look at all these different places. They get a pretty fucking massive body count when they do stuff.
I mean, I
You know?
understand that. And,
Like,
I
just overall, that's another thing that doesn't add up to me, though, is the number of people, the body count out of 22,000 people. You know? It just, shit's not adding up, man. The whole situation isn't adding up.
no, it's not at all.
And see, I'm trying to think like them. When y'all hear me say things like this, I'm putting myself in the mind frame or the state of mind and I'm trying to think like whoever set this up would have. Like, I'm thinking of it from a tactical standpoint. I'm thinking of it from a standpoint of I want mass casualties. I want to make a statement, you know? That's why this shit's not adding up because the statement that was made is don't trust the media. That's the only statement we've gotten out of this. You know? Like, nobody's made an official statement. There was no demand. There's no threat. There's no nothing. There's nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't add up either. There's always something. Somebody comes out. This is because y'all did this. This is because of this. We don't have that here. Why is this? From what I can see, this is for gun control, to disarm the populace. And because I think they set it up so sloppy because they knew we were all going to pick up on it and we were all going to talk about it. Now their algorithms know exactly who to target to rip down our channels. Multifaceted. Makes sense?
Yeah.
But maybe I'm just crazy. I mean, the markets are crashing. The Dutch central bank, screen share real quick and look this up. Like the Dutch central bank issues warning, calm before the storm. And what makes
Because that's what Trump keeps saying.
Yeah, I was going to say what makes that even more relevant, and Dabu pointed this out earlier, and that's why I want to talk about it because this is more than a strange coincidence. They issue a warning using the wording, it's the calm before the storm, and Trump keeps telling us we need to be ready for the storm, brace for the storm. What motherfucking storm are we talking about? I mean, I'm kind of down for a plague of locusts or something. That seems like it might be kind of cool.
Right.
Storm of, Hellstone, Hellstone and Brimfire. You see how
Hailstone
long?
and brimfire.
Yeah, you see how long I've been out of the church. I don't even remember that phrase. And we're gonna rain down some hellstone and brimfire on you, or sulfur, or whatever rock they rain down. They rain down some rocks on you. I know that much. God has a thing about rocks and people.
Okay.
He also has a thing about forcing people to swim.
All right, there's a video here. Let's see if we can see it. Of course, there's an ad. Gotta love CNN.
Is there any sound? I'm not getting any. Well, let me hold up. Don't talk. Let me turn on my speaker. Yeah, I'm not getting any, no sound.
Not getting any sound from the video.
Yeah, no sound from the video.
All right, let me
We
try
gotta
to
figure
cut.
out how to do that. How the fuck do? God damn it, we need viewers. Anyway, there's an article somewhere about that. I know somebody's got a written article about that at this point. But yeah, I mean, that's why I also say there's no way Trump can be not part of the system, man. He's using their same fucking language all the time. He just does it really slick. Or I'll give Trump that. He's a much better speaker than Obama. He knows how
Oh
to, like,
yeah.
he throws some shit out there and, like, give a fuck. He really didn't. Yeah, you could tell that was a genuine psychopath. Like, that's why he didn't try to hide it. He just said shit. Trump
Pretty
hides.
much, yeah.
He says the same thing. He's using the same keywords, the same hand gestures, same things. It's just he hides this shit very fucking well. Like, talk about serpent speakers, man.
They cut my screen share.
Mm.
What the fuck? Are you there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it killed my fucking screen share. And it killed the article that I had pulled up.
Huh.
Dude, that's crazy.
Now let me see what I can do. All right, I've got MSN pulled up right here. Let's try to go screen share. Got it. All right, so Dutch Central Bank warning. All right, here we go. That's a video. I don't want to see a video. All right, there we go.
All right, I've got it up on NBC.
I've got it up on one news page, probably the fastest news portal in the world. Edition Global. Can you see my screen? You got this?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Let me check YouTube, make sure it's sharing right.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start reading this regardless. Dutch central bank warns of market storm with 1 foot out of the door. Germany's finance minister, the former head of the German economy, Wolfgang Schäuble, 75, delivered a fire and brimstone. Ha ha! Stone. My bad. Not hell. My
I could have
bad.
told you that.
Well, fuck. Why didn't you? I just said it. God damn it.
Okay.
Over the weekend, telling the FT fuck is the FT?
All right.
And an interview.
Hey, share from your
No.
from yours, not from Metal Truthers, because it's showing you while you're talking.
Well, I'm logged in from Metal Truthers on here. I'm logged in on my phone, so
Oh, of course.
I don't have a mic on this. Well, nonetheless, people can see the article. Fucking one news page. Dutch central bank warns of market calm before the storm. Everybody can go look at this shit. Read it for yourself so you're not just taking our word. Wrote this article has put a lot of fucking like symbols and letter stuff that just doesn't belong there. It's creepy. Do you see it? Do you see it right
Yeah,
here?
I do. Like right there where it says warns of threats on the horizon.
The fuck is? Yeah, and then financial marketase. That's what it looks like. It says marketase. Taking a broad swipe at the current financial regime, which he helped design, Schwab warned that the world was in danger of encouraging new bubbles to form. That's what it says. So, I think this was written in a weird mixture of like Japanese and American. What is this word? As in, oh no, how to get hotter than a risk. I mean,
my
Jesus Christ.
God.
You see these things, like, what is this stuff? I don't get it. What are those? What is that supposed to be? Helmata. Oh. God damn, I love the internet. That's how I'm going to start reading all these articles. Just fucking. I hope every article I find out is written in like this form because I was taught to phonetically sound out things. So to me, this word looks like Makatase. Presentation of DMBI biannual. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude, this is great. This is fucking gold. Internet gold. Oh my God. I mean, you see what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not just like being funny, people. Like, this is exactly like. Here's another one. Be warned of threats on the horizon from high levels. I mean, come on, dude. This is too great.
Oh my God.
Oh, here, I'm just gonna highlight this so you can see it yourself, Brandon. Just read this like area that I'm highlighting right now, and you'll see.
Oh, I see it.
And just try and phonetically read that.
I'm pretty sure those are supposed to be quotation marks, but something in the in the website's algorithms or something swapped it up and didn't recognize them, so it just kind of put those symbols on there.
Those are like Japanese symbols or something, dude. That's why my Isaiah Makataza. Asaya, hi. Like,
I don't know.
Asaya, threats.
It kind of looks like to me it kind of looks like a Russian letter but fucked some Japanese letters and had a weird anal.
I don't know. But I really like it. I mean, maybe it's because I've been like watching Dragon Ball Super all fucking day long, like all day. Nothing. And it's all Japanese right now because like the English dubs like still way the fuck behind. So like I've just been listening to nothing but like Japanese shit all day. So like I'm totally like Makatase. Actually, they call him Son Goku. It's great. Vegeta-san. Oh,
but
love
yeah,
love the Japanese.
basically what I'm getting from this article is German.
I can't get out of this article. What the fuck? You see that?
Yeah,
It's
they're
crazy. Oh, my computer's logging up.
But yeah,
Stop doing that.
they're pretty much saying that we're looking at an economic collapse here in the next couple of days because the world central banks are pumping trillions of pretty much fiat currency into the economies, and
And well, another thing that a lot of people are overlooking too or underestimating is these bitcoins, man. That shit is taking off. Like this cashless system that's being developed is fucking man. Like I really wish I'd had the money. If we could have invested in some Bitcoin stocks for a few companies like a couple of weeks ago, dude, we would have been able to turn like $200 into 12,000 overnight.
well, shit. Is it too late?
So I mean, we could always invest in Bitcoin stocks. It's you buy high and sell low. That's what the general formula is. I mean, don't quote me on that. Dabu has an entire channel set up at Crypto Kings. Go check that shit out. But pretty much, I mean, the average general markets, I believe it's buy high, sell low. Buddy, in the markets, it's buy high, sell low, right? Okay, it's the opposite.
Buy low,
Buy
sell
low,
high.
sell high. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do both. Fuck it. Confuse the system. That's what I was put here to do. Yeah, see, I knew the general idea. I was just going to do it completely backwards and fuck myself, apparently. But yeah. Buy low, sell high. That's what you do. But yeah, like Bitcoin stocks for some companies, dude, like they were low as fuck a couple of weeks ago or something, dude. Now those things have skyrocketed. Like their lines just went straight up. It's like, holy fuck, dude. Like, did that many people say fuck some cash? I'm all about some cash, dude. I don't even want to get paid by like check, credit card, none of that bullshit. Like, just give me some cash money.
For
Give me
real.
some green. Or I don't want to have to go to the bank and then go to my bud, dude. That's just an extra trip I don't need to make. Like, just fucking everything's much simpler with cash. How many times that? I wonder how many people once they move to a cashless society, that try to get like their underground drugs like crack and shit are gonna have to like take their dope dealer to a bank with them to get their hookup, just fucking walk
Pretty
in there.
much.
Fucking dude's all calling his neck out and shit, and these fucking dope dudes just chilling there. Like a pimp walks in behind the guy because he's like, "Yo, you gotta pay my bitch." I'm like, everybody's gonna know what's going down. Everybody's gonna fucking know. Like, oh man, could you imagine that society just fucking? You think your grandma's all straight laced and you see her walk in with your bud, dude? Like that would legitimately, though, in a way, cashless society would strip privacy away from everybody, especially if you had to like to do any kind of interaction person to person. Y'all would have to go through a bank first or something like, because then everybody would see who's doing what, when, where, how, why.
Right.
And well, then again, Pokemon Go kind of did that to people anyway. Do you know though, like with Pokemon Go, like I'm not sure if they still do it because I haven't checked. I might open it up tomorrow and check. There was a point where you could like it would not only show you where you caught the Pokemon, like the city and everything, but like to an extent, like you could go on to like it would show you the Google Maps and you could like pretty much zoom in onto the exact spot you were at when you caught that Pokemon. Like that's some trippy shit. Like
Uh,
there was a big story about it. Like some dude got busted like cheating on his fucking wife or something like that. Like it was fucking because of Pokemon Go. Like she was scrolling through his shit, saw they caught one it, and like
that's pretty fucked up.
and she saw she like looked at the map and he had been lying to her and shit and saying he like had never taught like he wasn't talking to that chick anymore. And then she found out like he caught the thing like right on basically in her fucking yard. So like, uh, yeah. Don't play Pokemon if you're a cheater. You'll get caught. That's why I hope, like, Nicole's smart enough not to cheat on me. Like, I'm one of those kind of people nowadays. Like, at this point in my life, like, y'all would see me on CNN next if somebody fucks me over like that again, dude. Like, I'm tired of shit. But maybe that's what it was with this old guy, dude. Maybe somebody pushed him to where he fucking snapped. I mean, I don't know what this guy's motives were, but that could be it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You see it happen to people all the time. It's very simple. I mean, the Joker's ideology as you get older makes the most sense of all. And think about it. Think back to the Dark Knight, man. Madness is, you know, just all it takes is a push. It doesn't take much. A guy like me or you can wake up tomorrow and just all it takes is one bad day and you can become that monster you fight. Like it's not hard. It's not hard to flip a switch. So maybe that guy fucking flipped. Maybe that one day hit him at 64 years old. You know? I mean, I would like to somewhat be able to humanize this guy in a way, so that I can understand his mentality because I don't think like most people to begin with, but I don't necessarily think like a deranged person either. So like
Oh no, not completely.
to me, this is the ultimate puzzle right now. It's this guy's psychology and figure out was it just one bad day that sent him over the edge, and if so, when was that one bad day? What was it that caused him to flip, and how long did it take him to amass his arsenal to like? Because I mean, people think like what I mean by one bad day is like you wake up, somebody spills coffee on you, you go home, grab a pistol, and start shooting up your workplace the next day. No, I'm talking about that day goes. Do you realize like there are so many people out there whose intelligence is taken for granted? Like, believe me, if I ever went over the edge, the kind of plan that I would formulate, and you can add, Brandon would probably vouch for, like, I would come up with some mastermind bullshit. So, Mark, trust me, it would never be forgotten because, like, I think on a different level. I don't think like most people. I'm not a reactionary person. I like to plan things so that one day could hit me, and then I could sit there for 10 years and plan out my perfect. Like, what? Do you think the Joker? Like, take him for an instance. Do you think he came up with his plans like that same day? Every time you saw an episode where Batman had to go stop the Joker, do you really think the Joker came up with that plan overnight? It was probably thought out months and months ahead, or even years. You know what I mean? So maybe that's an angle that we need to look at and maybe try to dig into this guy's past. I mean, we know he worked with the government and shit like that. What if there's just that one day that pushed him too far? And then he brooded for months and finally he saw his opportunity. I mean, he went to a whole bunch of different concerts, so who's to say he wasn't just, going from concert to concert and then figuring out which was the type of person that he wanted to take out the most?
Sorry, I had to step away from the computer for a second. I is back.
Oh, you didn't hear any of that then, did you? Some of it.
A little bit of it.
Well, you'll have to rewatch this and then answer my question tomorrow. Because, like, basically, I don't want to go through it all again, but I was like, yeah, I was basically saying you have to take it. We could take a look at this, like, almost like look at it from a Joker's mentality perspective, as in it just takes one little push, like one bad day, what it takes. And like I was trying to explain to people, because when I say that, people automatically think, like when I say it's one bad day, that means, okay, he woke up, he like say his wife left him that morning, somebody spilled coffee on himself. By the time he gets home, he decides tomorrow he's taking a pistol going to work. That's not what I mean. That's not how it happens. Some people, yeah, it does happen that way because they're reactionary people. They're not smart. They're not intelligent. life based off of emotion, which is ignorance. Um, but the thing is like that one bad day hits, you snap. You know, humanity is now viral scum that has to be destroyed, and you're mine, whatever,
Yeah.
because that one bad day, that you're in that mentality now. Well, who's to say that, like me, if I have that one bad day, I can promise you, I'll spend at least a year or two formulating a plan. Like, that's just, it would take me a while. I would sit down and I would think of the way I would sit there and plot it out to where I knew that my point would get across, whether I wanted mass casualties or whether I just wanted to make sure my name was in the history books, nonetheless, plan it out. I don't do spur of the moment shit. I don't think that a lot of people that do these kind of things are spur of the moment killers.
No.
This is obviously a planned event. But say it was just him and maybe ISIS, maybe he was supposed to have some people help out and they actually dipped out on him because they realized he was a fucking psycho and he was probably going to kill them too when he was done. I mean, who knows?
And
That's what I'm saying though. That goes back to the fact that there are questions that we shouldn't have that we have right now.
something I do want to point out is you do notice, with the exception of Dylan Roof, all of these mass shooters always end up dead before they get the chance to be taken into custody.
And nobody can say it's because of, white privilege, like they tried to with Dylan Roof, man. Like, this dude was white. According to this, like, narrative, he was white as fuck. And, yeah, so they say. That's the same guy. See, on one picture they showed me, you can clearly see a 13 on his neck, which would make a sense. I mean, he was involved with all these government agencies. If he ever had to do anything of undercover sort, especially if he was in arms dealing or anything of that nature, it wouldn't be out of line to have like a gang tattoo on your neck, like, 13, Serenios 13, which would explain why he takes so many trips down south because he
Right.
was smuggling arms to the Serenios on the neck. It looks like his was the brand. I mean, that could have been old people neck skin, but I looks a little bit too much like it looks too defined as a branded 13. And there's very few groups I know. There ain't no white supremacist groups that run with 13. I tell you that right now.
No.
It's not the
But I mean,
number you'll see, honestly.
I just don't see an old ass white dude running with
Well,
Morris
think about it,
Oberson.
dude. He was involved with the fucking, obviously, from reports we've been seeing and stuff, like, we can assume he was probably involved in the arms trade. His girlfriend's Puerto Rican. She's down there in, like, South America. Serenios owns South America. I mean, it's not like they're just a Mexican cartel that chills out in Mexico. That, like, they're all over the fucking world now. I mean, who's to say he wasn't a smuggler for Serenios? And this was a Mexican mafia hit. Have we ever even looked at that angle? I mean, we know there's ISIS down in Mexico. Who's to say the cartels and ISIS wouldn't work together to send Trump a message?
Yeah.
I mean, he is talking about building a wall on, like, the main border that ISIS would need to keep open so they could get over here.
Yeah.
There's some angles to this that I haven't heard other people talking about that, you can observe and say, well, that would make sense. But especially the 13 branded on the neck. I'm probably going to get shot talking about this. Like, that. So if it
Oh,
really
man, you've
would be
already
the
called out
Serenian.
like 3 different gangs.
ISIS
Like
has
3
claimed
different
the
huge
responsibility.
games.
Well, ISIS claimed it, so, like, I don't have to call them out. They said they did it.
Well, yeah, but no.
They're claiming the responsibility.
Serenios, MS-13, and Mexican Mafia are 3 very different gangs.
Well, whatever.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
they're all
still work.
Hispanic, but
Well, no, I mean like Serranos work for the mafia, so
Yeah.
technically be a mob hit if you want to look at it. They work for the cartels. In fact, they're one of the larger cartels, you know? Mm, yeah, they have warring factions, but the same numbers, usually they're more intertwined with each other. It's the same thing with the Crips and the Bloods. Like if you see certain signatures, certain tags, they can use different colors, but you still know they're all representing the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I mean, how often have you seen a white dude walking around with 13 branded on his neck that wasn't involved with some sort of, you know, Serranos? You know, there's really only two that I know that run with 13. I mean, the, the cartel members that they would run with, but like, how many white people do you see with that tatted on their necks? Unless they were working with them, unless they were of high value to those people. Because that's not just something you can have and walk around freely, especially not in a place like Vegas. You have to look at the implications of that. I mean, if that was, you know, 13 branded on the neck, there's a lot of people that, like, if he was just some typical old white man, dealt with a long time ago with that kind of, they would look at that as disrespectful. And we know for a fact they run Las Vegas as far as the gangs there go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and he's always in Vegas. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's really, like I said, it's all putting pieces of a puzzle together. And like I said, just think of it from a realistic standpoint. How many white people do you know that are walking around that can walk around in any area where there is MS-13 or Serranos with the 13 on their neck, on the throat? You just walk around freely. How many people do you know? How many have you seen?
Not many.
I'll tell you, I haven't seen one with the 13 on his neck.
Like, as far as the recent mass shooters, no.
I'm not even talking about mass shooters. I'm talking about your everyday person. Because you've got to think, everybody's trying to figure out why this guy had so many guns and so much ammo there, where everybody's looking for a motive. Well, from the guy that they're saying that did this, like I said, we can see the 13. I mean, like, all right, we didn't know anything about this guy before he did this shooting or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Not knowing that guy from shit, if you didn't know he was the mass shooter, walking down the street with that 13 on his neck, what would be your go-to? What would you immediately think? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's not too many people that can walk around with that number specifically. That's like walking around with 88 on the side of your neck and not expecting to get stopped by some skins and find out if you're real or not,
Right.
Numbers you do not walk around with, just like there's certain colors. Like, there's certain colors we can't have on that vest without putting our lives in danger. Even if we're not trying to be anywhat somewhat affiliated with have those colors. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's another angle I've been kind of looking at, because I keep observing that picture and I'm trying to like throw it off as it's the lighting maybe or something, but it really does. It looks like the guy has a 13 clearly on his neck. You know what I mean? And like I said, common sense.
Oh,
There's not
yeah.
too many people you don't get to walk around with that on your throat. When it's on a certain part of your body, you're saying something to people. That's why people get, especially gang members and higher ups in mafias and things like that, they get certain brands, certain tattoos on their necks and their faces and on their hands so that you will see it, you know?
Yeah.
Gang sign in your face They don't have to walk up to you and say, I'm the part of this mafia, you know. No, you fucking know. Like, you don't. If you walk into Japan right now and see a guy walking down the street, you can tell by his tattoos whether or not that guy's Yakuza or not. You know,
Right.
you'll just know. And I mean, it's just there's certain ways these people operate. There's certain opera ways they go about things, and that 13, if that is a 13 brand, dude, that says a lot about this guy right there. And that explains a lot about the guns. It explains a lot about the trips to, you know, the southern United States and Mexico. And, you know, it explains his Puerto Rican girlfriend who's leaving the country. And it explains hundreds of $100,000 going down there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because right now, all I'm doing is trying to put together pieces. Everything that anybody says about this guy or anything at this point is speculation because nobody's saying shit. And apparently, he's got his insiders telling him some, you know,
He says
special bullshit, and then you've got the mainstream telling you they know exactly what it is, but they came out, remember, within like a day of it happening, 2 days, said it's definitely not terrorism. And then, like, while they were saying that, ISIS was out there showing like evidence that they had recruited this guy, and but their evidence kind of looks legit. Like, this guy could have easily been recruited. People are like, oh, but you know, ISIS is in the Middle East. Obviously, they're not. They're not only in the Middle East, or, you know, places like Europe and fucking Africa.
Last time I checked,
all these other
places, pretty much fucking Europe up right now.
What makes you think they're not in South America? What makes you think that they would not be in South America at this point? Are you really that dense? Is there somebody out there that truly believes that in their heart and soul? What makes you think they're not in America? I mean, what makes you think they're not in Canada already? What makes you think that the only countries in the world that I would be willing to say ISIS probably isn't is Russia and China, because those motherfuckers, and North Korea, because those people screen the fuck out of their people. They know exactly who the fuck you are. Like, I don't see any terrorists slipping in the rank, but a country like America, countries like Canada, countries like the South America, and like all those countries, I'm telling you, man, we do not give a fuck who comes over. We're like, you know what? Bring them all. Bring everybody. Bring their mothers. Bring their sisters. Bring their grannies. Bring them all. Dig up your dead ones. Bring them too. Fuck it. They can vote.
Yeah, I mean, you know, coming in the U.S., it's pretty much like, oh, well, you raped and killed 30 kids, and now you're running from the police in your country. Here, let me just open this gate.
So, if any of you actually out there do not believe that like ISIS has made it to American soil, but at the very least they're not in South America and doing very well on trying to recruit people, like this old guy that was honeypotted by a Puerto Rican woman that was like half his age, you know, that to think that this stuff couldn't happen is ignorance. It could happen. I'm not saying that's what happened. I don't know the guy. I don't want to know the guy. I don't think I'd want to hang out with a 64-year-old alcoholic gambling derelict. Like, it just doesn't seem like a good life journey.
It really don't.
I mean, sure, he's a millionaire. Most of his money probably came from selling out to the government. You know, he worked for NASA. That's all I need to know about the guy, to know that, like, if he had opened his mouth to me, I would have been like, the earth is flat, fuck you. Like, I don't believe anything NASA says, but at the same time, I definitely don't subscribe to the flat earth theory. But if I ever meet somebody that works for NASA, I'll best believe, word out of my mouth. I could even meet like Lance Armstrong. Motherfucker, world is flat. Fuck yourself. Neil Armstrong, not Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong's the guy that got busted smoking weed and riding a bike. right? That Lance. Lance was the guy that they got all pissed off at and like stripped his medals from because he smoked some weed.
Yeah, they stripped his medals from him, but that was because he was on steroids.
Oh, I thought. Well, I heard something like they made a big stick about him smoking weed, and I was like, really? Sure,
No, it
that's
didn't have
why he's
nothing to
such.
do with weed.
Well, I mean, then again, I don't see why a big problem with steroids in America is. I mean, fuck. If we're gonna pay these people millions of dollars to perform these sports, I'd prefer to get $1 million performance out of them. Let the motherfuckers jack up. If they accidentally rip someone's spine out on the field, great job. We've got a real sport going now. Like, I'm personally not against steroids in the league. Like fuck it. Like, if these people get paid millions of dollars, what I'm seeing right now on TV now, that's not $1 million spectacle. Like, I want to see some like veins popping out of their nose and shit that are just ready to go. Fucking monstrous
Well,
demon beasts.
and stuff like football and baseball, I think it would be fine. But like, as far as like maybe the Olympics, and
I'd like to see like steroids in hockey. That would be fucking amazing.
dude, I might actually.
How much that sport's like the fatality rate would like quadruple in a matter of minutes. Just like the first dude jacks up and like fucking all of a sudden there's like 25 fatalities and there's not even 25 people playing the game. But yeah, like I don't know. It's funny. We'll fucking ban steroids. We'll ban this. We'll ban that. Fucking people can't learn the national anthem, shit like that. We've got all this stuff going on, but like totally, if you smoke a plant or you choose not to vaccinate yourself, or you want to grow your own food, or you want to produce your own electricity with the solar panel, well, god damn it, fuck you. This is America, and we don't allow freedom. That sounds a little backwards, doesn't it? Doesn't that seem like that's not exactly how this was supposed to go down?
Yeah, I don't think this is at all how it was supposed to go down.
You're eating, you fat son of a bitch.
Maybe just a little bit.
Like, just, I can tell you're eating.
Yeah,
I can hear the fat muscle.
I ain't ate nothing today.
Me neither. I neither.
I've been
Actually, I
sick
made
all day.
myself. I don't know why, dude. I made myself like I ate like 4 eggs earlier. Fucking scrambles the shit out some eggs. I love me some
Scrambled
aborted
eggs.
chickens. Fucking amazing shit. I'm telling you, dude.
Yay, chicken fetus.
Yeah, Chicken Fetus. That's a good song title. That's gonna be our band's first album.
Oh
Chicken
my god.
fetus.
Refrigerated chicken fetus scrambled with cheese.
Jeffrey Dahmer. It's not a chicken fetus. Oh god, I'm going to hell in so many different ways.
Maybe.
When I finally do get there, either God's gonna have one hell of a sense of humor and be like, "Well, you may have been fucked up, but I made you that way, and you made me laugh. Welcome." Or he's gonna be like, "Dude, I don't know what the fuck you did. I don't know. Maybe I let your mom drop you one too many times. Something went wrong, but you're fuck out of here, dude." To hell, and the devil's like, "Oh no, sir, no, sir. We did not agree to this. Oh fuck you." Huh. And I'm just sitting there like, but he's like, "No, fuck. Get out here. Get on out here."
No, it's like you go
I
through the
assume-
religion of every. It's like you go through the afterlife of every religion, and they're all just like, nah, it ain't happening.
I even get to Odin, and he was like, "Well, I mean, you did die in battle, but you beat a dude to death with a baby, and dude, if I ever got into a serious battle, dude, it's anything goes. I'm talking about like I don't care if I see a little baby running like just laying, I'm gonna pick that motherfucker up. If I ain't got a weapon, I will make something a weapon. I don't care. I will beat you to death with a baby carcass." Oh. Slam! That's not funny.
You kind of cut that dude's jugular with a Pokemon card. So yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I'd be all about it. Make sure it's a Charizard every fucking time. Bam! Old school. Huh. I fucking just wander around during a zombie apocalypse and challenge people to Yu-Gi-Oh duels to see if I feed them to the zombies or not. Duel! You have to have that stutter, too. You can't just, like, start dueling people. You have to, like, come out with the stutter and everything. I love that shit, dude. Fucking brings back memories, dude. Dude, watching Dragon Ball Super, like, dude, it's been making me feel like a kid again. Fucking my childhood has been restored.
I really don't want my childhood to be restored.
Skinny.
No, I was never skinny.
You was a fat baby too.
Yeah.
It's a fat baby. Wouldn't it suck if you got to heaven and you find out the only true sin is being fat?
I'd be pissed.
Like, he's cool with everything, like genocide, child rape, all this shit, but then, like, the one thing he was actually against was fucking obesity. It was like, nope, I draw the line at fat people. I did not create my subjects to be fat. Do I look fat? And he, like, pulls up his shirt, he's all chiseled and shit, like,
Well, shit.
if you didn't fucking lift, you ain't getting in, you know, like, fucking... He wanted some supreme beings up there. What he got was a bunch of slouchy ass Americans. He was like, nope, all y'all are going to hell. Then one of y'all knows how to lift. I don't know where I went wrong.
Like,
fucking gave him type O, Jesus Christ.
the only true way to get saved is have a gym membership.
Yeah, you have to be subscribed to the Gold Club. No one gets into heaven without chiseled abs and
Chiseled abs and shrunken testicles.
they're like, if you watch Dragon Ball Z, that was the ticket to getting into heaven right there. Like, that's why Dragon Ball Z was invented, because God was like, this is going to be some dope shit right here. And then, like, all the Dragon Ball Z haters, you watch them getting tossed down, you're like, ha, bitch. Told you. Who said it's gay now? Bet you it ain't gay while you're frying in hell. Speaking of which, did you hear about, like, how some people were saying that this guy, like, was into, like, his whole spill was, like, somehow they've turned it around now to where, like, the Christians are victims in this? Like, he's all about, like, they're like, yeah, he was, like, totally trying to take out the messengers of God. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that country singer was no messenger of God. Now with that Illuminati tat on his arm.
Yeah.
And notice he was all about some gun control right off the bat, too. I was like, damn, dude, you're like country rock. You ain't even supposed to be about, like, no gun control. You're supposed to be rooting, tooting, let's go shoot your wife.
Let's go shoot your wife.
Well, yeah, I mean, I assume that's what rednecks do for, according to CNN, they just hang out on the weekends and smoke meth and then allow their guns to go on violent rampages. And by the way, we have to keep this in account, people. It's not the people that go on violent rampages. No, it's the gun itself. It's the gun's fault. The gun is the one that's going on a violent rampage. It has nothing to do with the person. The gun is to blame. Keep that in mind. If you take nothing else from this episode, just remember, guns get up of their own accord and kill people. They're dangerous inventions. They're sentient beings, and they're here to destroy you. That's a scientific fact. That's proven by Jesus. Oh, it's in the Bible.
I'm pretty sure they didn't have guns when the Bible was being written.
They have fun. Jesus had a Mac 10, dude. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, we're not
How
talking
the hell
about
do you
Rambo
think they nailed him up? How the hell do you think they nailed him up to that cross with a hammer and nail? No, the motherfucker, they had a compressor and a nail gun. It's the only way to do it right.
Oh my God.
Like anybody's gonna actually take the time to climb up a ladder with a hammer and a nail and drive it through somebody. No, you gotta have a fucking nail gun.
I'm pretty sure he was laying on his back first.
The cross was on the ground when they nailed him to it.
Okay, still need a nail gun. Ain't nobody gonna sit there and whack that big ass nail through you. No, they just got an industrial strength air compressor and a nail gun and plow.
Edge. Reality check.
Hey, no, there is no reality in this world anymore. Guns kill people.
No. People kill people.
According to CNN, guns kill people, and that bump stocks turn non-fully automatics into completely fully automatics. It's a magical world we live in. Oh, and silencers
As close as they can.
and silencers make guns completely silent.
No, they do not.
Go watch CNN. They said it the other day. They had a report about it, and
Yeah,
they were talking about
Right.
why the silencer bill needs to be banned, because if people have silencers, nobody would ever know that anyone was getting shot, because nobody would be able to hear anything. It would be like,
what the fuck?
and I was like, no, this isn't James Bond. This isn't just Magic Land where there's no sound from a gun when you put a silencer on it. Like, there's still a sound. Magic device that, like, it's kind of like when you get those noise canceling headphones, but somebody can still walk right up to you, like lean in as close as they go and be like, "Hey, faggot!" And you're gonna like hear it and wake up and like pull your headphones on and be like, "Dude, did you just call me a faggot?" It's not truly noise canceling. You can take that same idea and apply it to a silencer. Just because you put something that says it's going to silence the gun on there doesn't mean this gun's going to go all of a sudden like a mime and you ain't going to hear shit. You still hear bang. It's just not quite as loud of a bang.
I mean, they do have some really good silencers that silence the gunshot, but I mean, you're still going to hear the action. Like, you're going to still hear the shell ejecting and the bolt slamming closed again.
Well, he was on the 32nd floor, so if you could hear that shit, then why the fuck didn't you use your superpowers to save some people?
Good point. I don't.
But even that, like, you still can't equip a silencer to a fully automatic fucking rifle, fire,
Yeah,
you know,
talk about a meltdown.
multiple drums, and still have a working silencer. A couple of shots off before that silencer would pretty much be ineffective.
Dude, the silencer would melt.
Exactly.
I mean, you got a tube that.
I still wanted it. And I mean, if we're going by the mainstream narrative, though, that there was only one shooter, I just want to know. I need this magic gun that he had that was able to fire like multiple volleys at different time stamps, you know, like, you know, and they were trying to say, oh, it's an echo from the first shot, but like the first time they shoot, it's like 8 shots, 7 to 8 shots max, and then the second time around, you hear like 13 pop off, and you're like, yeah, 7 turns into 13 in an echo because, you know, echoes totally like fuck with math like that. Because 7 is 13, and that's totally how it works. Like, it's not like if you yell echo into a can, you don't get like echo, and there's like a million echoes that pop out of nowhere, and it sounds like there's like 1,000 of you there. No, that's not how fucking echoes work.
Not at all.
It's not like the after image technique. It doesn't create more of your voices. And echo just creates like one voice that goes, and it's the same sound too. Echoes don't just like mysteriously change their sound to make more.
Not at all.
It's not, it works. That's the one thing that really pisses me off about this mainstream narrative is like, man, they're really fucking science up for me, dude. They're fucking science up.
Right. I mean,
Because there are ways that I understand that sound works, and there are ways that I understand that light works, and fuck that off for me at this point. Because, like, at this point, I have to take into account that maybe sound works in a way that I did not know it worked.
Yeah, I wouldn't get my hopes up on that.
Well, it's either that or there were multiple shooters, and we have to believe the government, Brandon. The government said it was one guy that was a habitual drunk and a gambler.
Well, shit, we're losing him.
Huh?
We're losing Mitch, son of a bitch.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to go with what the mainstream's telling us all. I mean, come on now. They wouldn't lie to us now, would they?
Oh no, not at all.
That's the biggest, like, fucking thing that I have is, like, people, no, but why would the government lie? Well, why the fuck wouldn't they lie? Maybe that's the better question. Huh. Because, like, I can come up with about 10 million reasons why they would, could, and do lie to us, but, like, come up with, like, one or two reasons why they wouldn't lie to us, and now those one or two reasons would imply that we're all rational human beings and that they'd have to look at us like we're human beings, and really not the way things work.
They would actually have to look at us like human beings instead of profit centers.
Yeah, we'd have to be anything more than useless eaters. I believe that's what they like to call us. I don't know, man. We're supposed to be happy, like, you know, working at our shitty jobs with our shitty paychecks and, you know, just pretty much overall shit lives.
I got to be honest, my paycheck's not too shitty. I mean, yeah, like taxes rate my paycheck every week, but you know, somebody's got to pay the welfare queen to sit in her government housing and do nothing but have kids.
I don't know, man. It's a slavery system nonetheless.
It is.
I mean, we can say what it is, you know, oh, well, I got this good paying job and everything, but at the end of the day, it's still slavery. I mean, you only get to take home what they allow you to take home, you know?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, if your company goes down tomorrow, all of a sudden that good job's gone and you're back to square one, and now they have something over your head because you have a family to feed, you have things to do. And you can't pay your bills, all of a sudden you find yourself on the streets. The only way you can provide then is to go to the government and beg for their support.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, no matter which way it goes, they pretty much just keep your nuts in a vice.
Yeah.
But most people can't see that, you know? I mean, and it's a sad state of affairs because most people want to believe that the mainstream media is telling them the truth. They want to believe that some crazy white guy just went up and killed a whole bunch of people. And,
Well, I mean, it
you
makes
know, it was
life
him.
easier. It makes life a lot easier when you just believe the narrative.
Well, not really, because then you have to live in constant fear because you never know when the next white guy that owns a gun is going to flip out and fucking kill everybody.
True.
I mean, that's kind of like where in a way, I have to draw the line there. Like, that's where I say that their whole narrative, their whole line of logic just doesn't make sense to me. Like, how is this supposed to make sense? You know? If the government's doing all this for our good and, you know, they're always watching out for us, then why are the people all living in fear constantly, you know?
I mean,
Like,
the only way to get rid of constant fear is, like, you know, other than people like us But no, pretty much the only way we're going to get rid of the constant fear of the liberal left is to pretty much have a government like North Korea.
And that would be fucking perfect now, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. But I mean, that's literally what they want.
I mean, but how is that even a good life?
It's not. It's terrible.
I mean, what would possess them to think that that's going to be a good life, though?
Like I was reading this thing. It's a vacation service that will that allows you to go on vacations to North Korea. Like you can go to prison for life there for folding up a newspaper with a picture of Kim Jong Un on it. Like if you fold it across his face, go to prison for
Oh,
life.
God.
Like if you
Oh,
throw a newspaper with Kim Jong Un's picture on it in the garbage can, that's a prison sentence.
I totally say we should just send half these fucks from like California and shit and all these leftists. Just let them go over there. Let them do it. This will be a hilarious thing to fucking witness.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, we're talking about like some of the best comedy that's ever been given to humanity at this point. I say let them do it. Fucking, I will help pay for this shit. Let's find a way. Let's make their dreams come true.
They say they want to live in a socialist or a communist government, and they say the government should have total power. Well, there you go.
I'm sure they love China.
China's not quite as bad as North Korea.
I don't know, dude. Those motherfuckers have nets underneath their buildings and shit to keep people from like being able to actually kill themselves. Like you can jump, but you won't make it to the ground.
Well, I mean, North Korea is the same way.
Yeah, to an extent. It's a little bit worse for North Koreans, in my opinion, though, because they don't really have a say in anything.
I don't know. Like, I was reading this site. Like I said earlier, I was looking at this site that books vacations to North Korea, and you get to go on guided tours and everything like that and see the countryside. And, which, I mean, there's only one city in North Korea where tourists can even go.
What?
Yeah, there's only one city in North Korea where tourists can actually go.
That's fucking hilarious. Come visit our country. You can only go to this one spot, though.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to go outside of your hotel by yourself.
Well, what the fuck does that mean by yourself?
You have to have your tour guide with you. Anytime
Oh.
you go anywhere, you have to have your tour guide with you.
That's ridiculous.
Anytime you pass a statue of Kim Jong Un or any of the past leaders of North Korea, you have to bow to them, or that's a prison sentence. Automatically, no questions asked. Anytime you like the government chooses what food you eat at all times, no matter what. Like when you're there on tourism, when you're, vacationing in the country, the government chooses what you eat. They choose
Right.
the government chooses your meal times. Like you're fed when the government says you can be fed.
Even if you're visiting?
Yeah.
Dude, that's kind of fucked up. How you just gonna treat your tourists like they're like used to your piece of shit ass lifestyle?
Pretty much.
Like,
um you can't like there's you have to use either China or Russia to get into North Korea. You can't just fly in. Like you have to take a plane to either China or Russia, and then you have to get on another plane from there and go into North Korea. There's only one airport that civilian or tourists can come into. There's only one city you can visit. They only have 2 hotels that tourists can stay in. You cannot go outside the hotel by yourself, or you go to prison.
There's a lot of prison in North Korea, apparently.
Oh yeah.
It seems like their whole lifestyle's pretty much based around prison.
You're not allowed to talk about any other country's politics.
Or prison?
Pretty much.
Or is that just a death sentence?
It didn't actually clearly say, so I'm gonna probably guess that's probably a death sentence.
Oh shit. A country where they don't even like verify whether or not they're gonna fuck you off. That's pretty scary actually. Like you might go to jail, we might just fucking kill you. Like kinda luck of the draw. Depends on what mood the fat man's in.
Pretty much. Let's see, let me think. Like it was just this ridiculous, crazy.
I know you're only allowed to have certain haircuts if you live there too, like and your hair can never be the same fashion as Kim Jong or Il or whatever, like you have to look pretty much as generic as you possibly fucking can. Which would really suck for Americans, because we don't know how to be a generic. Even generic Americans aren't very generic.
Not really.
Like,
like when you stay in the hotel, you have to bring your own flashlight and batteries because the majority of the country, they have to cut the power out to save for the next day because they don't have the capability of running electricity 24/7. There's no Wi-Fi in the country whatsoever. You can bring your smartphone.
so there's no Pokemon Go in North Korea?
No, God no.
Oh, those poor bastards. They can't even have a Pikachu to pass their time?
Nope. You're not allowed to bring any kind of music or any kind of media whatsoever from outside the country. They have 2 bands that you're allowed to listen to, and they're both from North Korea.
Wait, 2 bands? That's it? Like, there's no metal? There's no, like...
No.
There's no, like, rap? There's no, like... You just have 2 bands and that's it?
That's it. 2.
How do they even have a population? Like... I would have already killed myself. After, like, 15 seconds of the first description, I would have been like, yeah, I'm out.
But no, like... fucking... They can't...
Does he have, like, the problem is motherfuckers almost crazy enough to have some law, like, if you get caught whacking it, they'll cut your fucking hands off or something.
That's what it sounds like.
This guy's fucking... That's pretty extreme. No music. No joy in this country. God damn it.
Oh, yeah. If you bring in a DVD from the United States, that's a death penalty.
Especially if it's the interview.
That's funny as shit.
That movie was fucking great. I don't know why Kim got so upset. I thought they made him look pretty good.
But no, like, if you bring any kind of music or movies from any other country, then that's death sentence.
Why the fuck's that? What constitutes that being a death sentence?
Kim Jong-un don't want his people to know what it's like outside of North Korea.
Well, what's his stance on like rape? Is that punishable by death, or do they just let shit like that slide?
I have no idea. It didn't say.
I would kind of wonder about that. Like, what do they take on stances like actual crimes, or they just totally cool with that shit? But like,
I don't know. It didn't say.
you know, you cut your hair the wrong way, we'll fucking scalp you. You can eat babies, anything you want. Just fucking cut your hair the wrong way. It's OV. Fold your newspaper and you're done.
But yeah, as I was reading over the guidelines, I was just like, this is ridiculous. I mean, I could go to prison because I folded a newspaper with Kim Jong Un's face on it, and I accidentally folded it across his face.
And then just top it
that's-
off. You threw it away. That's an insult to injury. You'd probably get the firing squad.
Probably, because I mean, they consider that a crime against the state.
That's fucking crazy.
It
So what do you do with
is.
your newspapers? Just collect them?
Apparently. Here, I'm gonna go back to that. I'm gonna go back to that website again.
What is this? Don't fuck up in North Korea. This is what'll happen to your website.
Pretty much.
If you breathe the wrong way, Kim will take it as an act of war.
Sorry, Master, I just sneezed. You die!
How dare you sneeze? Very rude. You will die now. You will die so. It'll be hilarious. I nuke your whole country. Hey, we lost our one viewer finally.
That was me.
You son of a bitch, you better start viewing it again. Oh, man. Kim Jong-un. I don't know how he's such a threat. I find him to be entertaining, to say the least. Not necessarily fear-worthy, though. I mean, I guess if you lived in his country, you could be afraid. I kind of live over here, though. Oh, dude. You know, it reminds me. You have to get it. As soon as we hang up, like, dude, you've got to go watch something. It's fucking amazing.
Okay. If it says, in the evening, can I go to a bar in the city? If the bar is not in your itinerary for the day, then you cannot go. You cannot leave the hotel and go to the city by yourself. If you have any plans, please talk to your guides and follow their instructions. Can I visit my friends staying in another hotel? If it is not in your program, then you should talk to your guides. You cannot visit other hotels by yourself. In case of group tour, your guides may want to bring you to your friend's hotel after the group finishes its day program and returns back to the hotel. In case of an individual tour, your guides may change the itinerary and bring you to your friend's hotel during the day. In any case, please note that if it is not in the program, then it will be your guide's decision whether to grant your request or not.
Oh, fuck all that noise, dude.
Oh yeah, and if you want to use your smartphone over there, you have to buy a SIM card from the government, and you have to pay for text messages, and it's $200 to use internet on your smartphone.
$200, like, out just flat or like $200 a day?
$200 for the first so many gigs, and then it's like $10 a gig after that.
Oh, if you're addicted to Facebook, you're kind of fucked.
Here you go. Will I have internet in Korea? If you stay in major hotels in Pyongyang, such as Yangakto and some others, you can send and receive email from the hotel email box. You cannot use your private mailbox. If you buy mobile 3G internet for your smartphone, then you can freely use most of internet services, such as Skype or mail, almost in every corner of Korea. Wi-Fi internet is also available and opened in 2013 Masikryong Hotel near Watson. So they do have Wi-Fi, just yeah,
Just you can't do nothing with it.
pretty much.
So, dude, as soon as we hang up, you gotta go to southparkstudios.com.
All right.
Just watching one of the newest episodes called Put It Down. Dude, if that isn't almost the perfect, like almost exactly 100% exactly what Trump and what's going on with Trump in Korea right now. Enough your ass off, dude.
All right. But I think we're just going to go ahead and kill this one right here.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, we've just kind of went off on some bullshit rants, but the whole reason for me saying all that about North Korea, this is what the left is trying to bring to the U.S.
Well, I think they want more like Venezuela. What they're seeing down there, they think that shit looks like heaven for some reason.
Yeah, because I love paying $184 for a loaf of bread. You know, I mean, that just sounds amazing.
I know. I mean, imagine if y'all didn't have to worry about sucking dick for the new iPod and you had to worry about sucking dick to get a loaf of bread.
Pretty much.
Imagine how
We want
priority.
socialism. I'm gonna tweet out how great socialism is for my brand new $1,000 iPhone.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of $1,000 iPhones, what the fuck, man? Jesus Christ. Like, I don't know why anybody's still buying Apple products. When I saw the price tag on that thing, I was like, oh my God, there are going to be a lot of people sucking a lot of dicks in America. Let me tell you something.
I wish I had $1,000 to give somebody. I could use a good blowjob.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Or you can suck someone else's dick, get that $1,000, and then give it to someone else to have your dick sucked.
Yeah,
Big old cycle.
I'm not putting dude's wiener in my mouth. It ain't happening.
If you want an iPhone bad enough, you will.
I don't want an iPhone, period. I hate Apple products. They're garbage.
Oh, speaking of this, I gotta find this video again, and I'll fucking send it to you. There's some like, I don't know. I guess it's a he-shirt.
It's a hoop.
But apparently, it's not only transphobic, but it's also basically just as bad as raping them if you turn down sex from a trans person.
Okay, I'm pretty sure for rape something has to penetrate somebody.
You penetrated their feelings with your rejection. This is the argument. It's just as bad as rape. It's just as mentally devastating to a trans person for a straight male to say, I don't want to have sex with you because you still have a dick. Apparently that's like mentally devastating. And I was like, hey, you're part of what's wrong with the world today. Like if somebody's saying, I don't want to fuck you is like mentally traumatic to you, then you've got some issues.
Well, if that's the case, then shouldn't it be the same thing when someone refuses to sleep with me?
Buddy, how is it transphobic if you just don't want to have sex with the trans person? Some trans people.
Oh, really?
Okay. Okay. Never mind. I guess gay people and trans people don't hang out as much as I assumed they would. It's like I have a lot of gay friends, but I don't really have I don't know too many of them that actually hang out with trans people. Apparently, because I've asked a few other people, and they're like, I don't really.
Trans people, from what I understand, stay to themselves quite a lot.
Well, yeah. I mean, after you chop off your dick or seal up your vagina, I'm pretty sure you stay to yourself a lot too. 'Cause your life probably becomes confusing when you go to take a piss in the morning. You reach down to grab your dick, and you're like, oh.
It's like, oh yeah, I forgot.
I mean, yeah, dude, that would totally fuck with me. I probably would kill myself if I ever became trans. Just because I'm so used to grabbing my dick every day, eventually, I'd just fucking, one day wake up and just, it'll never happen again. And then I'd fucking lose hope. It seems like it's a pretty mentally devastating process if you weren't, entirely, I don't know. It's definitely, you gotta be 100%. But, I just don't understand their whole I mean, yeah, it was like a 30-minute video with this he/sure Tribune. This thing was just arguing with itself a few times too. It was yeah, it's totally just as bad not to want to have. And it's the worst form of bigotry to not want to have sex with a gay person if they offer it to you. And I was like, how's that a form of bigotry if you're not gay and a gay person offers you sex and you say, no thanks, I'm straight? Shouldn't that just totally be the end of that? But no, apparently you're the ultimate form of bigot and you're showing your I forgot how she worded it. It was straight oppression or something. And I was like, that's totally how it works in life,
It's not oppression.
Straight
it's
people
just, I mean, they want to talk about rape culture and shit, dude.
It's not oppression when we don't want to depress your butthole. I mean, it's just people have.
Christ, man.
I don't know. I mean, people have preferences in life. I mean, it's just natural human. There's guys that fuck super fat chicks, and then I look at that same fat chick, and I'm like, holy God, is that a whale on land? And I want to report him for bestiality, but then I find out it's an actual woman, and I'm like, oh, my bad. Nice. I was totally gonna ask you what you fed it.
Well, my bill for Little Caesars is $100 a day.
I mean, there's preferences, some people like to fuck midgets. I could never fuck a midget. It's too close to as tall as my children, and that just seems weird now. Back before I was a parent, I was all yeah, midgets, and now I'm oh no, midgets. Not being prejudiced towards the midgets, but I definitely wouldn't have sex with one just because they resemble my daughter in height, and that would fuck with me because my daughter's 5. So then I would just equate that midget to a 5-year-old, and then my boner would be gone.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, we're gonna kill it here. I've got to start getting ready for work. Unfortunately.
Oh shit! You got your job. I forgot about that thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll come back tomorrow, talk more about the markets and what's going on with that shit, and hopefully maybe we'll find out some new, actual legit, explanations. Hopefully within the next couple of days on this whole Las Vegas thing. I just wanted a piece of the puzzle that we really need is if we can get a definitive why, then everything else will fall into line. All the big players, their parts in it, it all makes sense. But right now we need to at least have a why.
Yeah.
Asshole couldn't even leave a note. If you're gonna fucking do some shit like this and off yourself, at least give us a note. I have the decency to take like 5 minutes and write a fucking note. Even if it's only like 3 sentences, being like, I just fucking hate people. You know, like anything. Write a fucking note. God damn it. Now we're all left with questions. And the questions make us question the governments. And then the governments don't like our questions. So now they're trying to censor YouTube again. The revolving cycle. That's another thing we'll definitely talk about probably tomorrow is the YouTube censorship and the new
Definitely.
algorithms they're putting into play, how much more intense it's getting. I mean, they're pulling out a lot of underhanded tricks right now to get rid of people. So
Definitely.
anyway, keep it real, keep it metal, and you know, I mean, dig into some
Definitely.
shit. Like, don't always just take, you know, CNN, Dabu, mine, whoever. Alex, definitely don't take Alex Jones' word for it, but like, you know,
I've got to give it
anybody.
to
Like,
Alex Jones. He's actually been on some real shit here lately.
Antifa, that ain't real.
I've actually been listening to Alex
Alex,
Jones again. He's stepping up his game. I will give it to him. He's doing pretty good.
was he bitching Trump out about the fact that Hillary's not in prison yet, but they made thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars off of Hillary for prison merchandise?
He has actually mentioned it lately. He pretty much
Well, has
has.
he said what he was? He said he was going to denounce Trump if Trump didn't do it within like a certain amount of time. If I remember correctly, Brandon, I'm pretty sure you remember this too.
I don't remember that, but
Remember,
yeah,
like it was
he
just
may
like
have.
right back before the campaign. I'm pretty sure we could find it. All we have to do is go back. But it was one of their like during their like huge like what was it, that 3 day fucking coverage thing they did. Right before the debates, he was saying like it was after Trump had pulled that remark,
Oh
and they
yeah,
started selling all their stuff. When he really came out the Hillary for prison merchandise, he was like, "You vote Trump and you buy our Hillary for prison stuff and get the message out there. And if Trump doesn't follow through, best believe, because I'm on your side, I'm gonna call him out."
yeah.
And yeah,
But no, he did say that it was pretty fucked up that Trump
I,
hadn't went after Hillary yet, but he said he can kind of understand why because of all the political unrest. He said that Trump is most likely trying to keep down the riots and everything that would follow that.
well, I think it's a little bit like late to be giving a fuck about riots at this point, Trump. Like, no offense there, buddy, but Charlottesville, Berkeley. I mean, do I need to go through the list even more? Because I can go through the list more. I mean, we can probably. I guarantee you, I can look last week and there was some sort of major protest somewhere where a bunch of Antifa went and pissed somebody off. Can almost guarantee it. So, what he's worried about, political unrest, like Trump. Yeah, it's time to stop being a little bitch boy about this shit and get with the fucking program and throw Hillary in prison. Because, like, I mean, seriously, if you're worried about political unrest, I'm pretty sure if you pay attention to what's going on in the country, we're a little bit beyond that stage at this point, you know? Like, we don't, I mean, according to Antifa, come November 4th, they are going to wreak hell on this country and make sure you and your buddies are out of office. So the least you could do before you get your ass kicked out of office by a bunch of angry millennials is like, you know, keep the one major promise that you made to everybody, Hillary for fucking prison. Yeah, maybe. Just, you know, something to think about, old Trump, sir. God Emperor Trump, you know, maybe. Just think about it, you know.
Uh,
Allow your toupee to ponder upon it. But, you know, maybe ask the Pope. Pretty sure the Pope would probably be like, yeah, fuck that
Fuck
devilish
the
bitch.
Pope.
Yeah, no, don't fuck the Pope. Yeah, this shit's nasty, dude. Fucking,
Not what I meant
I
at
don't
all.
even know. I don't even know what kind of philia that is, but that's some sort of philia, like ancient philia. I don't know. Yeah, that's Pope philia, like you're a popophile. Oh, wanting to fuck the Pope. What's wrong with you, Brandon? You stick the head in a collapse in the dust. Oh, at least we got a Nazi for a Pope. Can't nobody deny that shit. They tried to deny it, but you can't deny it.
Pretty much. But anyway, Brittany's wanting to talk to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and say we kill it now.
Yep, later.